Thanks for joining us on Blitz here on Windstream Channel 4. I'm your host, Brian Carter. Today's show has highlights, interviews, the BLITZ Player of the Week, and much more. But right now, we're joined by Dawson County boys basketball coach Thad Burgess. Coach, just wanted to thank you for taking some time out to share with us a little about Dawson County basketball.
Oh, Brian, it's getting close to opening, getting practice started next week, and we're grateful y'all came and visit us today. And our kids are excited. I know throughout the state, Monday's a big day to get started for basketball in the state of Georgia.
Now, Coach, you've been here for seven years and had the opportunity to take your team into the state playoffs 3 straight years now. Talk a little bit about that and your experience here at Dawson County.
Well, it's been an exciting time for our basketball program. Been very fortunate over the last several years to have some great kids. Even earlier when I first got here, to have some kids that kind of bought into what we were trying to do and almost build from the bottom floor up. And last 3 years we made the state playoffs. 3 years ago was the first time in 30 years. And then we followed that with back-to-back, and then last year was 3 years in a row. So, there's a lot of excitement in our basketball program, and we got some great kids. It's a quality school, great place to go to school and academically, and it's just we've been very, very fortunate to have some great kids.
Now, Coach, last season, as you said, third year in a row you make the state playoffs. You went 16-12, 8-4 in your sub-region, finished runner-up to Riverside, and then you get knocked out in the first round of the state playoffs by Chattooga. Very tough game. Talk a little bit about what the team stands to gain or lose from that first-round exit last year.
Well, it's really, Brian, it's just been a growing experience every year. It seems like we've been able to build a little bit each year. That Chattooga game was the first time they'd ever hosted a state basketball playoff game in Dawsonville. So, although, we came out on the wrong side, it was the gym was full. There was a lot of excitement. And a quality team, they were very good. They went on and won a couple more games in the playoffs. But, it's just been a building process, getting excitement in the community. We were probably last year was probably the surprise. We basically had a brand new team because the previous year I started 5 seniors. So last year we was like, can we just survive? Can we just keep it going somehow? And it was just one of the magical years last year. Some of our young kids that we started, I think 3 sophomores at times last year, and had a couple of seniors that had been in our program. In fact, the only 2 seniors we had last year had been in the program for 4 years and had some success. So that kind of helped build things, and then we got on a little roll the second half of the year, and next thing I knew, we were back in the playoffs and then playing Riverside for the region championship. So it was really a fun and very surprising year.
Now, you had a 2-year span there from 06 and 07 and 07-08. Those 2 teams probably the most historic, most successful in Dawson County history, going, I think it was 40-18 over that 2-year span, and 18-3 in sub-region play. And that led, of course, to 2 sub-region championships and 2 straight trips to the state playoffs. What kind of pressure exists to keep, for example, this year's team? Is there any pressure riding to have that 4th year in a row making the state playoffs?
Well, I know our kids, now we talk about state playoffs. Several years ago we were talking about winning seasons, just trying to survive. Yeah. And so I think the expectations, of course I've put the expectations high, but I think our kids are even put it higher than I have. And we've got I got a great group of juniors. They've been here, and they, in fact, 2 years ago when I had all seniors, they dressed with us, and although they didn't play much, they went to every meeting and they got to experience some of that success that you're talking about. So, they expect it now, and I think once you start winning, it's hard to explain. I think your kids expect it, and they expect to win, and they put a lot of time and energy into this year, and it's exciting to know I've got this group this year, but then I also got them again next year. So just a great bunch of young kids, especially our junior group.
Well, let's talk about your team a little bit. What kind of depth do you have this season on the roster, and who do you think are going to be some of your key players?
Well, Brian, what we like to do, and it kind of falls on with the kids that we've got. 3 years ago when our program was, we were on that edge trying to see which direction we were going to go. We decided we were going to change things over, and I spent some time over with Joe Dix over at East Hall and Coach Vining at Lakeview, the success that East Hall had over the years. And we changed what we were doing. We shoot the threes now. We come out and we shoot it. About 80% of our offense is from the 3 areas where everybody on our team shoots it. So if you were to come watch it, our 4s and 5s, our big guys, Jacob Evans is our best rebounder. He's about 6'4", but he's also our best three-point shooter. We play him on the perimeter. And Stephen Scaife, a little point guard, is going to be back. This will be his 3rd year. He'll be a starter for us as a junior. And Caleb Holbrook really stepped up last year. We got Levi Wilson coming over from the football team that'll join us in a couple of weeks. And And it's just a group of kids that have bought in and love what we're doing. I mean, we shoot the ball, and I know when I was growing up, one thing every kid likes to do is shoot.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we've done. We're a three-point shooting team. Push it up. We should take the first shot we can get, and then we try to put some pressure off a press, and we get back and play a little matchup 3-2 zone, which not many teams in North Georgia play, which I think has been an advantage to us.
Now, Coach, you have, as you just mentioned, a team mostly packed with a lot of juniors and returning players like that. Is this team hindered in any way by not having a lot of senior leadership?
Well, it would be if you were looking at a situation where these kids had to play ninth grade and play JV. But they, like I mentioned earlier, they've been with us basically since they got up here as ninth graders. I allowed them to dress. We had a smaller senior class 2 years ago, so to fill out a roster with 12 or 10 or 12 kids, I let 5 of these kids play with us on a regular basis, and we're kind of brought them in slow as ninth graders, and it was a growing experience for them. And then last year they had major rows. We only had 2 seniors last year, so 3 of my juniors started, or actually the upcoming juniors started. So although they're juniors, I almost feel like I got 5 or 6 seniors that are juniors because they've been here so much and know what we're doing.
Of course, every team needs good chemistry and also solid nucleus of players to go deep in the playoffs. What do you think, as far as the nucleus of this team, do you think these are the group of kids that can go out and go deep in the playoffs and upset some teams?
Well, I think we got the potential to do that again. Of course, every coach is saying that right now. But one thing about our region this year is back up again. Last year it was slightly down, and 2 years ago it was very good. This year you're seeing a lot of teams were in a rebuilding mode last year, but this year everybody's going to be pretty good. Both sides, all 9 or 10 of our teams in our region are going to be very good. I think we'll be better, but everybody else is going to be better. So the key is going to be, can we step up one more notch? We won a lot of close games last year. You go from winning getting to the state playoffs to having a losing season. There's just so much fine line between having a great season and just an average season. So I think the challenge is going to be can we step up, knowing that the region is going to be very strong this year.
Yeah, speaking about the region, 8AA, mostly you got to be concerned with your sub-region A.
Yeah.
That's teams like you got Rabun in there, you got Union, and Fannin County as well, and Riverside.
Right.
Talk a little bit about those teams and where you see the Tigers measuring up against them.
Well, when you throw Fannin and Rabun and Union, we're all kind of very similar. The schools are very similar. The makeup of the schools, the type of athletes we have are almost identical. And so year in, year out, I guess the competition level and the rivalries among them is what makes this region so special. And then they threw Riverside in there with us a couple of years ago, and of course that's a whole different situation. They get their kids from, I think they had one kid starting from France last year, a couple from Miami. So you get a little different breed. Then we jump over to the other side, very athletic side with Jefferson and East Jackson and Banks and some of those other teams. But our first goal every year is to do well in the North region, because those will be teams that we play twice. The rival games, these kids have played each other all the way growing up. They know each other. Great relationships with the coaches. Boys, it's nice to be able to go to a coaches meeting. Most of them have been here now for 3 and 4 years. I know my first couple of years there was a lot of changeover in the coaches at Union and Rabun, and even Fannin had gone through before Johnny moved over to the boys' side. So, I'm like the old guy in the region right now. But it's nice to be able to, call each other. We have great relationships. Our kids play hard, but we also have good relationships with the coaches and the players and just everybody involved.
Now, Coach, there's talks about possibly Dawson County moving up to from AA to AAA. Talk a little bit about that. You said that when could that possibly happen, and how's that going to affect your basketball team?
Well, we'll know something probably around Christmas. They do the numbers again. They did them last spring, and then they'll do them again in October. And then the Georgia High School Association put all those numbers together. And then I would think probably sometime early spring or after Christmas we should find out the possibility of either jumping up. We're right on the borderline. It will probably deal with what teams decide to go up or down. Some 3As may jump back down to 2A. We hope we stay where we are, just because of the rivalry that I was mentioning with Fannin and Rabun and those folks. But, if we do jump up, we have a great relationship with Pickens and Lumpkin and Gilmer. We play Gilmer in White County. That would be some of the same teams that we probably would be looking at, that we play some anyway. So, the adjustment would be a slight thing, but, at Dawson County, it's been very good to us being in the North Georgia 8AA has been good to us in basketball especially. So I hope we stay where we are, but we don't control that. Our numbers are right there on that line. About 950, 1,000, about the average is what they look at. So we'll find out soon.
All right, Coach. Well, we appreciate your time here on
Thank
BLITZ.
y'all for
and
coming. Right.
it was great getting to talk to you about the Tigers, and we wish you good luck, and hopefully you'll get that 4th straight trip to the state playoffs.
Well, I'd just like to thank you from the coaches for what y'all are doing for everybody. Just promoting football, volleyball, the girls and boys teams, and during basketball season. I know anything y'all can do for us, we'd be grateful. And again, thank you for coming to Dawsonville.
Thank you very much, Coach. When we come back on the other side of the break, we're going to have another coach interview. Stay tuned.